Good Thursday evening. I'm student meteorologist Riley Winch with FSU Weather, and we have some severe weather coverage this evening. Currently seeing a 76-degree temperature here in Tallahassee. A lot of that has to do with some warm southerly air from the Gulf of Mexico ahead of this low pressure system, which is producing some severe weather farther to our north, and we see that here in our temperatures. A lot of 80s across the region, mid-70s here in Tallahassee up into Thomasville. And that is all ahead, again, of this severe weather system that is not producing any rain on our radar, but just zooming a little bit out, we see some of those storms that are currently over portions of Mississippi, especially into Alabama, and that we do have quite a few tornado warnings to talk about later in our show. This evening, we are going to take a look at that severe weather ongoing locally, though. Some showers and hot weather on the way for Tallahassee. That's on Thursday evening, FSU Weather.
I am student meteorologist Becca Harris here with FSU Weather. We have quite a lot going on right now, lots of exciting things to talk about. I know a lot of us are really interested in some of the severe weather outbreaks that have been going on. However, unfortunately, there are several confirmed tornadoes on the ground right now, so that is definitely something that we have all been watching, that we have all been keeping updated on, and we will be keeping you updated on as we go throughout the show. I know we have a severe weather desk coming later in the show. Make sure that you're paying attention to that. As far as Florida goes, we're looking at a little bit more muggy weather than we have in the past few days. I know it's been fairly nice over the past few weeks, but we're getting into some of that, closer to spring, the summer temps, and you can definitely feel that in the moisture as well. I know I felt it today, so that is definitely changing. It is definitely spring, and that is also showing across the country. Things are really starting to warm up for a large portion of the nation. However, this also means that we have definitely come full force into severe weather spring. So again, circling back to that severe weather, that is our main story tonight, going through much of Mississippi and Alabama. Again, several confirmed tornadoes on the ground. That is what we are going to be focusing on, and kind of how the rest of the weather relates to that, because there are a lot of factors that come into play when there's a severe weather outbreak like this. So make sure that you're paying attention to that and just kind of try and see how they all interact together. Right now, I'm going to hand things off to Elizabeth, and she's going to give us our first look at the local.
Thank you, Becca. Yeah, live look over Doak Campbell Stadium right now. We're seeing these clouds. They are starting to clear up a little bit, but we've seen today that it's been very, very cloudy outside as we see those storms roll in. Not going to affect us, though. Right now, it is 76 and mostly cloudy. The wind's coming out of the south at 10 miles per hour. Looking at our almanac for today, today's high was 79 degrees, not too far off from our average of 76, but the low was quite warm compared to our 49, but still quite far from our record of a high of 89 and a low of 26 in 2008. Current local temperatures across the Big Bend, pretty much seeing upper 70s and lower 80s. We have 82 up here in Donaldsville, and we got lower 70s over here along the coast, 79 in Sumatra, 73 in Crawfordville, and 71 in St. Mark's. The dew points, pretty muggy outside, seeing them in the upper 60s and lower 70s today. 64 and 68 in Thomasville, 66 in Valdosta, and we're seeing these lower 70s down closer to the coast. Not much to see on the radar. We're seeing these showers up here from the severe weather happening right now in the southeast, but nothing that we should be worried about at this moment. Perfect, crystal clear, perfect radar tonight. The future radar, though, seeing some showers move in tomorrow, but nothing too bad. By this time tomorrow, we should be pretty clear as far as showers go. Tonight's lows, we're seeing the upper 60s and lower 70s. We are kind of not going to veer too far off from what we have been looking at throughout the day. So 68 Madison and Monticello, 69 here in Tallahassee, and we got upper 70s here in Bainbridge and 68 in both Thomasville and Valdosta. Tomorrow's highs, we're seeing mid-80s across the board, definitely warming up, seeing those spring-like temperatures, definitely getting me excited for summer, and mid-70s over here on the coast. Tonight in Tally, we're going to get to 68 degrees and cloudy, not too windy tonight, so it'll be a very nice night to go out. Just avoid those showers tonight. And tomorrow, 84 degrees and cloudy, a little bit more windy as we see those showers come in. And the week ahead, seeing us warm up a little bit and seeing some showers next week. Now I'm going to pass it off to Riley as we look at our severe weather.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth, and we do have a very significant severe weather situation going on currently in the south. They're both in Alabama this evening. Now, first we do want to head off to our first warning that we are talking about tonight, and this is with a reported tornado. Now, let's zoom in on this cell here. We have these two tornado warnings up right now. That first tornado is centered right around Brent, Alabama, and you can see that hook echo starting to become a little bit more defined here. What we want to put on now, we want to go to our current conditions, current radar, what we're seeing, and get a look at this radar from a still standpoint, looking at our velocities, what these velocities show. Red colors are moving towards the radar, green colors are moving away from the radar. And where you have those colors in close proximity to each other is where you do see some circulation in the atmosphere, which does indicate a tornado. And that tornado is just about right over Brent right now. So if you are in Brent, let me try to pull up some of the counties that we are seeing here. You do definitely want to get to your safe space right now. Let's also pick up here on our correlation coefficient. And if we take a look at our correlation coefficient, that little blue debris ball right there, that blue color indicates we do see a debris ball, and that is just about moving into Brent right now. So if you are anywhere near the Brent, Alabama area, you do need to get to your safe space immediately, whether that be the lowest place in your home or a basement, ideally, what we want to look at. So if you are in that Brent area, please do heed those warnings as immediately as you can. Let's head over to our next tornado warning. I believe this is also another confirmed tornado warning or confirmed tornado on the ground that we are seeing. If we do here, head to our sweeping radar and get those velocities on right here. Yep, we see some of those greens and those reds. Again, reds moving toward the radar, greens moving away. Where we see those colors meet is where we do see that indicated rotation in the atmosphere, which initiates that tornado warning. Our correlation not showing any debris right now, which is some good news. But still, if you are in that area, you do want to get to your safe space immediately. Anytime you're in that red polygon, to quote James Spann, you want to respect that polygon and get to your safest location. Now, heading throughout the evening, we will continue to see a high risk of severe weather, including most portions of northern Alabama in Huntsville, Birmingham, down to Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, somewhere we already have seen a couple tornado scares earlier today. And this is a 5 out of 5 risk, really seeing a high potential at severe weather. You want to have that plan, be prepared when you get under a tornado warning to take shelter immediately. As we head throughout the evening, that tornado potential will continue to shift east into portions of Georgia. And looking at our future radar, we see the storm start to move towards the east. Atlanta might be woken up overnight for some late night thunderstorms. With that, we are going to head to what Florida weather we are seeing currently with Tyler.
Thanks, Riley. Guys, winds coming out of the southeast at 13 miles per hour, and just generally a fairly good day overall, even though they have these cloudy skies. Not seeing any rain, so pretty good for the most part. We're going to move off to the east now towards Jacksonville, Daytona, Gainesville, clear all throughout the upper portions of the Florida Peninsula, and moving towards the south, once again clear. So pretty clear day for the most part. We do have the cloudy skies once again in the western panhandle, but Sebastian, West Palm Beach, you guys are looking clear. In Gainesville, beautiful sky right now, currently 89 degrees, a couple clouds right there in the sky. Winds coming out of the southwest at 14 miles per hour. So in some portions of Florida, we do have these windier conditions, even though not seeing any rain. And then as we move towards the south, Miami and Homestead are clear, as well as Naples and Fort Myers. So just generally an amazing day to be in Florida. Here's our look at Miami, Florida right now with the sun in the sky, a couple of clouds hanging around, but really just a great day overall. 83 degrees, still breezy conditions once again with winds coming out of the southeast at 14 miles per hour. So let's take a look now at the temperatures all throughout the region. So since we're not seeing any rainfall here in Florida, really starting to see those temperatures pick up, especially in central Florida, where right now Orlando is 89 degrees with those partly cloudy skies. Moving up to Jacksonville, 86 degrees. And as we move towards the west, we get a little bit cooler. Tallahassee at 76 and Pensacola at 75. We do have lots of moisture throughout the region. Even if we're not seeing rain, we're still experiencing humid conditions, especially in the western panhandle of Florida. Pensacola with that dew point of 72 degrees. Still a good amount of moisture in Tallahassee as well, with dew points hitting 69. And over the next 24 hours, of course, during the nighttime, we're going to see those temperatures start to dip back down. But as we start to go throughout the day, we're going to get back into the 80s. Orlando's even going to get to 90 degrees tomorrow. So still going to get pretty warm here in central Florida. But for tonight, Tallahassee going to get down to 66 degrees. Tampa only going to get down to 70, and Miami only 73 degrees for the low. And here's tomorrow's high temperatures in Florida. Orlando going to be your hot spot at 91. Gainesville, 90 degrees. Here at Tallahassee, going to be about 84 degrees. Now I'm going to pass things off to Becca with a national look.
There is quite a bit going on the national radar right now, if you cannot tell by all of the fronts and weather that you're seeing on the screen behind me. Our main topic right now is, of course, this severe weather that we have over, the central southeast area, and that's going to be pushing through different parts of the region and definitely impacting a large portion of our country. For the current moment, you can see that the severe weather outbreak is pushing through Alabama, Mississippi, over into Georgia, and potentially moving even a little bit further north. So the main threat right now is in Mississippi, right on the border between Mississippi and Alabama. All of those red borders you are seeing are tornado watches. There are, as Riley was saying, there are some confirmed tornadoes on the ground right now, and as we have been getting some data back, they appear to be actually extremely deadly. So definitely important that you are paying attention to these watches and warnings. And as we get in, you can see there is definitely a lot of weather moving through. So this is kind of perfect conditions for those tornadoes. So again, that red is going to be all of those watches out at the moment. Out ahead of that front, we have the weather coming through, and this is just kind of some more rain and storms pushing up. So not the severe weather that you're seeing a little bit south, but just ahead of that front, that's going to be rain and a few sprinkled storms in there that's going to be pushing out up ahead of that front. The biggest thing to note from this is this all area, all in here, so Charleston to Cincinnati, that is all seeing clear skies right now, which is perfect fuel for a storm. So while the sun is setting, that clear area is definitely going to be bringing in some storms, as you can see, just coming out of the south. And further pushing north, that severe weather that is just impacting the southeast now is actually moving pretty far up to the north. So we're seeing that in different portions of about Illinois, and you can even see it push up into the Indiana and almost into Ohio zone. Over on the Pacific coast, we have absolutely, as always, rain in Seattle. So that's a mix of rain and snow currently. Rain and snow, actually that was a little bit more of our central area. Now looking at Seattle, this is some snow that we have coming in. So rain and snow in Seattle, typical for the area. For the current snow cover, you can see that the normal area is about Denver, and then in Idaho, Montana area, those are going to be your highest snow, but it is receding. You can see that the Midwest is receding up into Canada, so they have no snow cover, which I know my family in Michigan is definitely enjoying at the moment. For the big picture, temps are definitely warming, so we are definitely moving into the spring. You can see that the highest temps are actually going to be down in Florida, 82 in Miami, and they're a gradient with even the northern portions of the U.S. being fairly warm. Dew points, again, things are changing. So we're looking at warmer dew points, and the main thing to look at here is right along the front. You can see the change in the dew points between 39 and 60, so that's going to be right around the front where those dew points are going to be cold and dry. Looking at our water vapor, the water vapor is kind of helping us see where the front is aligning. So at the moment, the upper level low is going to be right here with this moist air pushing up, and then the surface low, the moist air in around the Atlanta area, that is right aligning with the front. That dry spot was the front. For our future radar, we have the weather moving across the country, and you can see it's getting into parts about Washington, D.C., so we're looking at Virginia, Maryland area, Pennsylvania even getting some weather. For tonight's lows, again, we're starting to warm up a little bit. So the coolest is going to be about 29 in Billings, warmest down in Miami with 74. Tomorrow's highs, a nice, beautiful day for a lot of the country. However, with that severe weather, there is a few areas that are going to be suffering. So we will have a nice high of 84 in Tallahassee. And now I'm going to hand things off to Maddie, talk about what we should be looking at for the future over these next few months.
Right, thank you, Becca. So we're going to change gears a little bit. We've been talking about what's been going on right now. We're going to switch to a climatology point of view, where we're going to look at the trends in the forecast for long-range weather, starting off with our drought monitor. This is typical for this time of year. As usual, the West is fairly dry, especially with that mountain range. It kind of suppresses all of the precipitation that you could be seeing in that area. Very, very extreme drought in that area. But as you move further Midwest into the east, we see that drought monitor kind of subside, and we're seeing a lot of our weather and a lot of our precipitation in this area, which is why there isn't too much of a drought here. Maybe spots in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as Mississippi and Alabama. We'll see those abnormally dry conditions go away within the next couple of days with that system moving through. Right now, current snow cover, as we see those temperatures start to increase a little bit, we're going to see that snow cover start to decrease a little bit. And that's going to continue over the next couple of days as we transition from spring into summer. Right now, the majority of our snow cover is over portions of the Rockies, especially in Colorado and parts of Utah, all the way up to Portland and Seattle over there in Washington. This is when we start getting into our climatology point of view, where we start looking at the trends and the averages that we've been seeing over the past couple of years. So this is an exact outlook, an exact science as to what we're going to be seeing, but we're just comparing it to what usually happens. For the 14-day Precip outlook, we're going to see, despite the severe weather, we're going to be seeing likely below average precipitation for that area, slightly below average from portions of the Midwest, as well as portions over Colorado and things like that. As we move over further west, we're going to see equal chances to what we've been seeing over the past couple of years. Now with the temperature, as we start getting to the spring and summer, we're going to look at the past trends, and we're going to see that over the upper Midwest, especially in the Dakotas and Nebraska, they're going to be likely above average. So get ready for those summer temperatures because they're going to be coming soon. And as we move further into the southeast, we're going to start seeing some typical weather here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Still in the southeast, you know, summer and spring can be oppressively hot with that humidity. Now with our April Precip outlook, we like to do this at the end of the month to prepare you for what's coming ahead. Right now we can see a nice dip in a long wave jet stream, and that brings a lot of colder air into the area, which is why we're going to see above average precipitation specifically in the northwest. And that means the opposite is going to happen as you move below the jet stream, which is why over here in Texas, all the way over to portions of California, likely below average for your precipitation outlook, which is not great in terms of the drought monitor that we just saw. We're going to see those conditions continue over the next couple of weeks. Now our temperature outlook, we're going to see likely very above temperatures. Remember, lack of precipitation means higher temperatures. And this is just a continuation over the precipitation that we're seeing ahead. Once again, with that high pressure system, likely below average precipitation. And then for spring, this is our three-month outlook. We're going to see all these temperatures typically above average compared to what we've been seeing in the past. That's what we're looking at now, but we're going to bring it more to what we're seeing right now in the southeast with Tyler.
Thanks, Maddie. Here's a couple of live camera looks here. Gainesville, Florida looking pretty good. Atlanta having some cloudy skies, as well as Blacksburg, Virginia, and then moving into Bowling Green, Kentucky, they're seeing cloudy skies as well. Most of that severe weather is in Alabama right now and the southern parts of Mississippi. But let's take a look at the temperatures first. Montgomery at 80 degrees right now. Tallahassee's at 76. Orlando is our hot spot at 89 degrees. And moving north to Charlotte, they're seeing some rain and storms move through the region. So they're at 63 degrees right now, with that rain helping to cool them off. And you can see where all the storm activity is with these higher dew points. Montgomery, 67 degrees. Jackson, Mississippi, 65 degrees. So these dew points are very close to the actual temperatures. So plenty of moisture in the atmosphere to help fuel all of this. And here's what we're looking at right now for our severe weather risks. That high in the pink right there, that's almost a 5 out of 5 risk for seeing a severe thunderstorm. So very high likelihood there in the pink of seeing a severe thunderstorm. Once you get into the red, that's the moderate risk. That's about a 4 out of 5 chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm. And each time you move down a level like to enhanced, that's a 3 out of 5, and so on and so forth. Really, the severe weather risk ending right around central Georgia, about maybe 2 hours southeast of Atlanta. And let's look at the radar and the available energy here. We're seeing a lot of this energy that's helping fuel the thunderstorms is located in Mississippi and Alabama. A lot of the storms are starting to move out of Mississippi, although we still see a line here to the east of Jackson, but a lot of this is located in central Alabama, moving into northern Georgia, just north of Atlanta, and getting into the eastern parts of Tennessee and the western parts of North Carolina as well. But where you're going to see the most severe thunderstorms is in this yellow and orange area in Alabama, because there's plenty of convective available potential energy to fuel these thunderstorms. So let's look at the evening ahead. You're going to continue to see the line of storms move to the east, although they're going to hang around central Alabama for a little while before getting into Georgia. Atlanta going to see a line of storms. But as we get into the early morning hours, finally going to see most of the storms dissipate and start to get into the all clear for the western parts of the southeast. So with all of this rain, even though some of these storms are moving rather quickly, there is still the threat for flooding, especially in northern Georgia and central and northern Alabama, where they're seeing line after line of thunderstorms move through the region. Just south of Atlanta, you can get 5 to 7 inches locally, maybe even more, 3 to 5 inches here in northwestern South Carolina. And as we move to the north towards North Carolina and getting into Virginia, not going to see quite as much rain accumulation. And then let's move back to the south here into southern Mississippi and Alabama. Could expect somewhere between 2 and 3 inches. So for tomorrow, our severe weather outlook, not quite as severe, although there is a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms. Here in the dark green, that is about a 20% chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm. The light green here means that you could see a thunderstorm, but it's not going to be severe in nature. But let's move on to tonight's lows. The western part of the southeast is going to get fairly cool behind that cold front, but the eastern part of the southeast is going to stay warm. Here's your highs for tomorrow. Florida warm as usual. The rest of the southeast going to be in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Now going to pass things off to Elizabeth with a look at the northeast.
Thank you. So yes, we're going to be looking at a much different picture than down in Tallahassee. Next arrow? Okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So currently up in the northeast, we're seeing various varying temperatures. Up here we have lower 50s all the way down into 49 in some parts of Maine, and we're seeing 63 down in New York, 66 in Harrisburg, 62 in Pittsburgh. It just kind of depends what end of the stick you have here, if you have these clouds or if you have the sunshine, like in Scranton at 70 degrees. Dew points right now, pretty moist in the areas that we're seeing these storms, especially down here in Pittsburgh. As we see those dew points get closer and closer to the temperature, that's when the atmosphere is the most moist. So we definitely have lots of moisture up in the northeast right now. The wind speeds, again, all over the place here. We have 10 and 10 down here, 13 down in Pittsburgh. Over here in Buffalo, it is calm. And then we have anywhere between 5 to 10 in the central northeast. The national radar, nothing happening right now, but we're seeing some of these ahead of the cold front that is impacting the southeast right now. We're going to see some of those showers, and you are already seeing them down over there in Pittsburgh. Sometimes you might see some heavier rain we can zoom in on it right now. It is right north of Pittsburgh at the moment. And the water vapor right now, again, here are those storms. You can see some of the lightning strikes down there. Some of these storms may be a little more severe than others. And all this is clouds right here, very, very moist in the northeast right now. Tonight's lows seeing anywhere between mid-40s all the way up to about the mid-60s down here in Harrisburg. And we're going to see that rain move in overnight. So the look for tonight into tomorrow is that rain. And tomorrow's highs, 70 in Albany, 57 in Syracuse, 69 in Harrisburg, all the way down to 57 in Pittsburgh. Okay, now I'm going to pass it on to Becca for the final local.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And we're just going to take one more look at what's going on here in Tallahassee. You can see the clouds kind of gave way, giving us an actually, always a beautiful sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium. What can I say? 76 degrees, cloudy, sun's peeking through, winds out of the south 10 miles per hour. Hour by hour today, started off a little cooler. I felt those temps. I was awake at 6 a.m. Definitely got a little bit warmer as we went through the day, reaching a peak of 78. It was very, very nice out. I enjoyed that weather right around 1 o'clock. Looking at our current local temps, highest up there in Donaldsonville at 81, cooler down by the coast, 70 degrees in St. Mark's. We are rounding it out in the average at 74 in Tallahassee. As we move back into this, again, 74 in Tallahassee. Dew points, again, those are going to be warmer. So we are finally getting into some of that muggy weather. I definitely felt it today, and that's just pushing us on right towards summer with those hotter temps. So we're definitely looking at the warmer ones, 69 Tallahassee and 72 in Madison. That is the warmer cold fronts, again, we saw earlier as a contrast as opposed to that front. For the Tallahassee radar, nothing on the radar for us. Those were just for some clouds that we're moving through today, but some pretty nice for the rest of the night. Tonight in Tallahassee, isolated thunderstorms. So again, nothing on the radar at the moment, a little bit for tonight. 84 degrees tomorrow, another nice day. It's going to be definitely a hot weekend, so make sure that you're paying attention. Week ahead, another beautiful day in the high 80s. So this weather is going to be changing a lot, so make sure you're paying attention. I'm going to hand things off to the wall to Maddie and Riley to round us out.
Thank you very much, Becca, and we do want to update our viewers on an ongoing tornado emergency for Bibb, Ashby, and Briarfield counties in Alabama. This is a significant reported wedge tornado that is currently moving through the area, and this is the same storm we were tracking earlier for Brent, Alabama, and now moving into places like Centerfield.
Right, exactly. This should not be taken lightly. These emergencies are not given out to any circumstance. This is when the tornado is on the ground. Significant life-threatening events could be happening in your area. All of these places should be taken into account, and they should be moving into their safe spaces. And this same storm system will be moving into a higher populated area of Birmingham later into this evening.
Yes, so the severe threat is far from over, and we do want to make sure everyone that is currently in the path of this severe weather and still under the threat for severe weather this evening has a safe place to go. Make sure that lowest level of your home, whether that be a basement or interior room, is where you can get going, and make sure you stay safe throughout the night. So thank you so much for joining us here on FSU Weather on this severe weather edition. I'm student meteorologist Riley Winch.
And I'm student meteorologist Maddie Seiler. Stay safe out there.